All right, all right. Getting all situated for the live today. Goodness, I haven't done it this way before, so I'm looking for making sure we have the broadcast on the Facebook, but I don't know. Maybe we already do. Let's see. Okay, it says it's waiting for the camera, but I did the camera. Let's see. It says it's waiting for the camera. This is so weird. Hello, can you hear me? Uh, Waiting for the camera. Looking for the camera. Oh, it's working. I just didn't even know that. Okay, y'all, thank you so much for being here and being patient with me. There we go. I've been a lot cleaner on other lives, but what are you going to do? And if you are in the Coaches Plaza Club, I would love to send you the replay, and I'll go ahead and I will cut this part off. Today we're going to be talking about how to make your social media sing. We're going to be talking all about how do you make sure that the people who are learning from you on social media are people who actually care to probably work with you eventually. And I'm going to be speaking specifically to our niche targeting strategy. So I'm just joining the main room here. Goodness, I'll be a little more organized next time. I had it all organized, but then this happened. All right. Here we go. There it is. Boom, shakalaka. All right. We're set. And I'm going on that stage. Boy, oh boy. All the different pieces. All the different pieces. There we go. And we're on stage. Cool. And now for the coup de grace, I'm going to the gram and we are going live. All right. Cool. Hey, welcome everybody. If you can see me and hear me, let me know in the chat. I see several of our club members are here. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. We finally got all the tech working across all the different places, and I'm really, really excited to see you today and to spend some time talking about your niche, right? Specifically, talking all about how to stand out with what you're saying online. So, hello, Tanya. Hello, Mayra. I'm glad you're here. And if you're joining me on the gram, if you're joining me on the Facebook, if you're joining me on the YouTube, say hello. Okay, so every Tuesday I go live to support coaches in their courage to serve. And I'm on a mission to help coaches eliminate time poverty and actual poverty from the coaching business. I want you to be profitable and I want you to be fulfilled in your experience. I want you to be in full authenticity when you are presenting online. And I guess the main reason why, goodness, I haven't talked about why in a hot minute. Well, if we haven't met before, my name is Amanda Kaufman, and I pivoted from a 10-year career in corporate when I was pregnant with my fourth kiddo, and I started a coaching business. And I still remember thinking, how hard can it be? Have you ever thought that? How hard can it be? And it turned out to be much more overwhelming than I thought it would ever be. And of course, I was doing this during maternity leave. I was really trying to get my ducks in a row before I left my corporate job. And even after I got the ducks in a row, it was like the next problem. And this is one of the cool things about entrepreneurship and life. Every time you solve a problem, you create a new problem. So the problem that I encountered as soon as I got successful building my coaching business was, how do I grow this thing? How do I actually make this thing sustainable over time? Because it's one thing to make a sale. It's another thing to have a system that works reliably of turning strangers into clients. And when I very first started this business, and I was in a certification that required 10 complimentary coaching sessions in order to earn the certification, I had eight names on a post-it. And I have to tell you, I felt all the things. I felt like I was an imposter. I felt like I was irresponsible as a mama, like I was not paying attention to the things that I'm supposed to pay super lots of attention to. That was, by the way, completely untrue, because I would never leave my kiddos unloved and unattended for and uncared for. But I still stressed about what maybe other people might think about how I was approaching my motherhood experience. And I was so concerned, like what everybody would think. And yeah. Hey, Mona, glad you're here. So what does niching have to do with all of that? Well, one of the things that I was really afraid of in the first few years was that there was never going to be enough. There was never going to be enough leads. There was never going to be enough time. There was never going to be enough money. There was never going to be enough. And I was in this, state of scarcity. If you guys know what I'm talking about with scarcity versus abundance, I wasn't feeling like the truth, which is on Facebook, there are 3 billion people that you could be building relationships with. On the gram, we're looking at, I think it's 1.85 billion people that you could be making connection with. Then there's the YouTube subscribers, the LinkedIn connections. You see, I thought there were only 8 people that I could reach out to when I had 10 things to do. And I got clever about it, and I asked every single one of those people, who do you know, so that I could generate more opportunities. And I got to my 10 complimentary sessions and really began sparking a network. But that was because I learned the power of asking for help from people. And it's because I learned that I'm actually not that scarce. To be honest with you, at the time, I had 700 or some friends on Facebook, and I had like 500 friends on LinkedIn, connections on LinkedIn. But I only wrote down 8 names. Why did I do that? Right? Let me know if you're following along in the chat. Why do you think if I had 500 contacts on LinkedIn and I had maybe about 700 friends on Facebook at the time, why do you think I wrote down 8 on the post-it and said, that's all you get? Right? The reason why is because I wanted to serve everyone perfectly, and I didn't want anybody to get the wrong idea. I didn't want them to think poorly of me. And when I was building this business, I didn't tell anybody at my job or anybody who was connected to a job I had ever had, because I didn't want to risk my reputation at a job I was planning to quit. I share this with you because if you've been struggling to pick your niche and you're not activating your network, little bait and switch here, you need to activate your network regardless of whether you have a niche or not. You need friends. You need supporters. You need to find out who in your network is not a friend and not a supporter. And if I could just go back in time, I would realize this one really important truth. I could choose to serve small business owners. I could choose to be in corporate. I could choose to focus on the marketing and business side, or I could choose to focus on maybe the relationship side. I could make any choice I wanted. It's so abundant. And I'm glad you found the link, Erin. We had a little bit of an issue with our email today, so I appreciate you. So I share all of this with you because the core fundamental skill that most people need at this stage is actually to talk to people, to meet with people and talk with people. So if you're following along and you would like a free copy of my guide to automatic networking, make sure you slide into the DMs, or if you're here in the chat and you haven't gotten the copy of the free guide, just say the word guide And I'll make sure to send this to you so that you can reference it to understand this idea around networking and specifically automatic networking. Because what I discovered very, very quickly, yeah, I got you, Tanya. What I discovered very quickly was that actually people are super interested in connecting with other people. I got you, Mona. And Mara. Okay, yep, I'll send it to you guys afterwards. So it sounds good. It may be tomorrow morning because we had to fix a thing with our email. So I will make sure to send it. Bev too. All right, join the party, Bev. I love it. Okay, so networking sounds like a painful, horrible process, doesn't it? Until you automate it. Until you automate it. And the reason why I feel so painful and horrible is because you don't know how it's going to work out. You know, am I going to like these people? Are they going to like me? That's it. That's it. Am I going to get along? Like, that's the main question. So, what role does niching play? Well, it turns out that niching actually is a strategy for choosing how to message your product or service. It is not about excluding you from doing anything. It's a specific marketing strategy. And so what I did for the first several years of my business is I basically said, no, I don't want to niche. I don't want to reduce the very few chances that I already have to convert people, you know, based on the very few friends that I've got that know, like, and trust me. I was so nervous about know, like, and trust. And what I've learned, I'm going to give you like the punchline after literally $500,000 in personal growth, development, business training. I got to the other side of that yellow brick road and I discovered that when it comes to market messaging, when people meet you, they want to put you in a category, right, wrong, or indifferent. They want to be able to understand you, and they want to understand what the benefit of your relationship together is. So niching is a marketing strategy where you can make a decision about, okay, if I'm going to put all this time, energy, and thought into a marketing message, I want to make it so that I'm speaking directly to people who have something in common, that they can look left and right and go, oh my gosh, I'm in the right place, and this person is behaving in a way that I kind of expect, you know, not perfect alignment. You know, there's got to be something quirky about you, something a little off, right? But generally expected. Why is that so important? Well, because if your brand, if your personal presence and brand is so different than what they're expecting to see, that's basically like you're hiding in the bushes, right? And it just has to do with our psychology. We can only take in so much information at a time. And so niching as a strategy is more like a decision about a conversation, a particular conversation you want to invest in having well. That's all niching is. And I think like a lot of times when people teach niching, they have no idea what it actually is. Like they don't understand that it's not your whole person that's niching. Okay? So I'll explain a little bit more about what I mean. My name's Amanda, and I am a certified high performance coach and a core energy coach and a business strategist. And I just love to help coaches to have profitable and sustainable businesses. And I want them to get results faster so that they stay in the game, and good coaches are helping good people. So I just described who I am to you. But if I was talking to a bunch of moms, maybe I might say, hi, my name's Amanda, and I'm a mother of 4. My youngest is 7, my oldest is 18, about to go to college. My older 2 are my bonus children, and my younger 2 are mine with my husband, Chris, and we also have 2 cats. And the reason I love motherhood so much is I love watching the different phases that my kids go through and how each one of them handled each phase so differently and yet so same. Like at the same age, they were having the same. So I'll kind of cut it off here. But you see how when I'm speaking to a mother, I'm using very different examples. I'm using very different context. I'm talking about things that moms are going to relate to, which is a little bit different than you, right? But here's the exposure. That's all me. I am all of those things. But when it comes to messaging for my business, my company, the Coaches Plaza, I decided that I'm going to use a niche strategy to emphasize the parts of me in my personal brand and the parts of what the Coaches Plaza programs do that you as a coach actually care about. Right? So I can go on and on and on about family and being a mother and being a stepmother and all of those kinds of things. But that's not going to hold your interest the same way that when I tell you about, hey, when I figured out how to sell high ticket coaching, and then I learned that you don't have to just have a high ticket program, you can have medium ticket and low ticket, and it's very possible to grow these things really ridiculously quickly. When I talk about those things, the people that are interested in the business aspect of what I do are going to be more drawn to having a conversation because they're not bored. They're not like going, oh, I can't relate to that, or that's not interesting to me. So that's all niche marketing is it's simply deciding to have a more targeted conversation out of courtesy to people about the interest they have, right? And it's not inauthentic at all. It's 100%. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a sister, I'm into personal development, I'm really geeky on movies, right? All those things are true. But when it comes to our conversation and what I calibrate for between us in the Coaches Plaza context, I use a niche marketing strategy where I'm actually speaking directly to a coach who's been struggling with having enough time, making enough money, feeling confident in your business practices, right? So is this tracking and making sense, you guys? Let me know in the chat if this is making sense so far. And then we're going to talk about how do I actually pick one, right? So I think another reason that I did not pick a niche for a few years is one, I am extremely stubborn and I've just said I don't need to. And I heard count them, one mentor suggest to me that niching is not necessary for your personal brand, and I took that as gospel and I just ran with it. And I realized looking back, I'm like, I took some of the context of what he was saying to suit my position on the matter, and I ignored the rest of what he said, right? And the rest of what he said is exactly what I'm conveying to you in a different way, that we are multi-passionate, multi-dimensional. We might get involved in a few different things, but when it comes to the successful messaging of your business product, you could have a niche campaign that goes over here. You could have a niche campaign that goes over here. You could have a niche campaign that goes over here. You know, I've sometimes thought that the Coaches Plaza was a terrible idea for the brand name for this business. Why? Because I can help lots of entrepreneurs with messaging and confidence and leadership and all of that. I could choose the target niche of coaches who I've gotten to know extremely well over the last few years. It's a major competitive advantage that I have. But I could have also done niche targeting, say, towards network marketers, or I could have done niche targeting, say, towards small brick and mortar business owners that want to break into the online space. I could have very easily done that, but then I turned around and called my company the Coaches Plaza, or at least this brand is the Coaches Plaza. You know, even within your niche, you could niche. So for example, I tend to work with coaches that don't really identify as a business coach, right? So I tend to work with coaches who their chosen niche is, and it's not universal. I've worked with business coaches, but by and large, most people have like wellness, spiritual coaching, relationship coaching, energy coaching, high performance coaching, and they specifically are not interested in teaching people how to sell and market. Those are my people. Like if I was to take my niche and I was to get even more specific, then that is true. Now, what we've done with our strategy, and I'm just showing you this so that you get the way of thinking. Is that helpful? Let me know in the chat if that's helpful to just hear the way I'm thinking about it, and go ahead and ask me any questions you have because I want to make sure that we're really, really getting this. So not only did I discover the type of coach that I prefer to work with the most, I also noticed that there's demographical things about the people that I tend to work with. So I tend to work with people who are 35 and above, usually between 35 and 50 to 55 years old. But I've also had clients that are in their 60s and 70s even, and I have had clients that are in their 20s. So I'm not saying that I exclude anyone with niche marketing. If the message hits, the message resonates, right? It's just architecting a conversation. But if I'm trying to connect very deeply with like the straight and narrow point of my niche and my niche marketing strategy, then I need to acknowledge that there's things that are going to be more interesting to the set who is more like in the 50-year-old range than the people that are more like in the 25-year-old range. One really good example is when I talk about technology. So the 20-year-olds don't really say, I'm not techie. That's not something that they say. Why do you think that is? Right? Versus most of my clients complain about technology and not being techie. Right? And the reason why is I tend to work with, certified certified coaches, people who have invested a lot in the skill of coaching and they had a prior career. So that already puts them up in a different age bracket. Are you all tracking that? So because of that, because I typically work with like people that have invested in the skill of coaching or they have life experience that they feel more confident in coaching and it's not just a money grab for them, it means that they're often older and they're often more concerned about, can I handle the technology? And so when I figured that out, I was like, oh my goodness, I can adjust my messaging to talk more about having confidence when it comes to technology. I can adjust my programming and my content to support the people who've been the most responsive to my marketing overall, which are the people that are in the 50 to 60-year-old set. When I first started working on this, I thought it was so weird because I was a lot younger when I started. And I was like, why am I attracting this demographic? I had no idea why. And I realized that it was because my genius has a lot of focus on systems and technology, but I like to talk about things in a very accessible way, right? I'm not here to razzle dazzle you with tech. I want to make it accessible and easy to understand. And so when you're building your niche, look at where's your genius. In fact, tell me in the chat, where is your genius? What are you the most excited about to help another person with, right? Because that could also inform your niche. Because what I noticed over the years of testing is that some people are really responsive to what I talk about and how I talk about it. And there's other people that are completely rejecting of it. And what I'm looking for and what I look to calibrate and why I'm choosing the niche that I have is because I actually really like helping you with the right mindset, right? So holistic wellness. Okay, cool. I help people follow their heart and feel good. So I like that. We can niche further though, because everyone wants to be healthy. Everyone wants to live their best life, right? Teaching people how to learn. Well, Erin, you have very specific people you're teaching how to learn. So the game is, what is it that is so specific about what I do that I could add language to it? Now, I'm going to give you guys a GPT prompt here, okay? So the GPT prompt is, tell ChatGPT, I want you to act as a marketing consultant and I want you to help me with my niche strategy. And then tell them, what is your specialty and what is it that you're hoping to offer, like private coaching or group coaching. And then ask it to ask you 20 questions to clarify exactly who your market is so you can build a niche strategy, right? I'm not going to say it all again because this is part of our live training. And, if you're part of the club, then you can have the replay and all of that kind of jazz. And if you want the details of the club, just say club and I'll send you those details. But what we're going to do in the Experts Network is we're actually going to be building out more of these prompts. Thanks, Tanya. I appreciate you. We're going to be building out like more of these prompts for you so that you can actually use AI to self-coach and get even more benefit out of the programs and everything that we already have that get people incredible results. So I'm pretty excited about that. Y'all let me know if you're in the Experts Network or you're thinking about it. Are you excited about those new features? Let me know. So you like working, Ray J likes working with women that are over 50 to go from divorce to business success, and it's strategies for women starting over. I mean, like, boy, that sounds pretty good. And if I was to niche it even further, I would say what kind of business, right? I might say what kind of business. Because different business opportunities are going to be appealing to different people of different demographics. And so this is where all the strategy comes together, where we need to take a look at what is it that you want to actually create, and what in terms of like the revenue, and what's your vision for how you're going to actually deliver that, right? So good. So yeah, Coach John is all for it. Erin's definitely excited. Very cool. I was just referencing actually the method that we use to help coaches to be more successful just overall. So what I'd love to do is I'd love to share with you, if you send me a message in the chat or slide into the DMs and you say the word leap, I will share with you the system that I teach inside of the Experts Network, and it's like this reading paper thing, and it goes through like the 6 major steps that we cover in the LEAP program inside of the Experts Network. And I think that'll be really helpful for a lot of you, because if you are working 5, 10, even 20 hours a week in your business and you do not have any consults yet, you definitely want this method, because the LEAP client acquisition method helps you to understand how much time you should be spending on what to create the result, right? So yeah, I'm seeing some interest in the LEAP details. Super good. Yeah, Erin binged the LEAP program. I couldn't believe how fast she did it. But yeah, it's just full of all kinds of resources. This is inside of the Experts Network. So if you're not in the Experts Network, I'll send you a little document that gives you an overview. And if you want to have a deeper conversation, you can just let me know. But I will send that to you. And I see Tanya's asked for it, Heather's asked for it, Mayra's asked for it. So I'll make sure that you guys have that. And if you don't see it from me in the next 24 hours, feel free to slide into the DMs and say, what's up, girl? Rebecca's out of the office, and that has been very exciting to see just how much I can do on my own. So I appreciate your support. I appreciate it. Y'all, what did you love about today's session? Let me know in the comments, and I will be seeing you very soon inside of the Courageous Coach Club. If you want the replay, if you want to be automatically registered for these trainings when we go live every Tuesday, just give me a little shout out for club, and we will make sure that you are added to the Courageous Coach Club. All right, we'll see you soon.